It's time for your reporter shift at Disneyland. Today you are coming along with me as I take you through the day on a reporter shift at the Disneyland Resort. It is quite a gloomy day here at the Disneyland Resort today, and we don't always rope drop on a reporter shift, but today we are because this morning is Pin Tuesday, which means we are here at the rope with the crowds, hoping to get a coveted spot in the pin line to see today's drop. Pin Tuesday is the weekly drop of new pins, usually limited edition, every Tuesday morning. In order to get a spot in line and a chance to get the highly sought after pins that will sell out in the first hour, you have to be at rope drop, and more specifically at the front of the crowd of rope drop. Now, there are different places to stand based on what stores you want to go to, but I can go into Pin Tuesday tips on another video. When 8 o'clock hits and that crowd starts racing to Rise of the Resistance, check out my Disneyland Mistakes video for my thoughts on that, we stay right and file into line. There's limits on how many of each pin you can get depending on what pins are available that day. Then, after I make my purchase, I will take photos and videos of all the pins available for the website article and social media. So usually I just find a quiet spot away from the crowds to sit down and work on the social media. I try to do it pretty quickly right after I finish taking the photos and videos to make sure that it gets out and everyone can see what pins dropped this morning. I'm finishing up for Instagram right now, making sure that it's on there and everything looks good. It does. The parade pin this year was for the Magic Happens parade, which controversially is one of my favorites. I know not everybody loves that parade, but I loved the music. So since they dropped the pin today from that parade, I had the opportunity to use the music and I was taking it. Now that the posting's been taken care of, we are headed back to Main Street to start looking for merch. Now, if it wasn't a Pin Tuesday, I normally start my day with a full loop around the Emporium to see what merch is new and what exciting things dropped since I'd last been here. Even if it's just been a day or two, you never know. And it looks like we found something new. Today's Tuesday, I was here Sunday, and there's a new collection. So we always check no matter what, even if we were just here the day before, because sometimes things like this drop overnight. This is a collection with Her and Our Universe. And it's pretty classic with the black and white and the Disneyland D. I see some embroidery as well. We've got the castle here, as well as the D and the entrance sign text. We've got a hat and a sweatshirt with more of that embroidery on the sleeve. This one is so cute. I've had friends and family ask me that in a store this big, how do you know when one new thing drops or two new things drops? How can you tell? And it's really just that I'm here so frequently that if there's something new or at a place or they move around something, I notice because I stare at it multiple times a week. So that's how I can catch a shoulder plush that's brand new. For example, the Winnie the Pooh shoulder plush that came out this weekend was not displayed in any place of prominence in World of Disney. When I was going through, I just happened to walk by the display that it was on and I was like, that's new. That wasn't here last week. I don't know what to tell you. When you do this job, you start to notice those things. Continuing on down Main Street, we will check the expanse of Disney Clothiers that goes all the way down to Plaza Point. We are just looking to see if they dropped anything to this store that they didn't in the Emporium. And more often than not, that has been known to happen. I'll say it a million times. Just because you find something you love in one store does not mean it will be in any other store. So keep that in mind while you're shopping in the parks. It's so warm in here and it's so cold outside. I'm just want to stay right here where the heat is blasting and my fingers aren't freezing. Crystal Arts is tricky because it's not always the easiest to tell when they've added something new. It can be something as little as a figurine like this, but it's always a beautiful store to check. One of the best parts about this job is making friends with so many cast members because you see them and they see you pretty frequently. It's always nice to say hi and chat with them and see how they're doing, and they also help you in identifying some new things. So, in fact, this Mirabelle figurine and this Dopey and Grumpy, as well as the Pua and Hey Hey from Moana, are back after selling out immediately. All right, we are all finished on Main Street and are headed into the lands to continue looking for merch as well as some construction updates for things happening in the parks right now. This is a perfect example of something I would report on. Jungle Cruise is down for refurbishments and the walls have gone up with theming. So this is absolutely something I would send in and would go on the website. As I said, the cast members are the magic. They are so fun. I love seeing those ladies every single week. They help me out with all of the new Pandora stuff, and they're just so fun to chat with and talk to. And it truly is one of the best parts of this job to meet new people and make friends with people that are also in the parks every single week. Oof, the rain is coming. We are in Pooh Corner in Bayou Country, and the randomness of Disney will never cease to amaze me. So throughout this whole store, there is one thing, merch-wise, that is new. Any guesses of what that one thing is? It's a gray youth sweatshirt. And this wasn't at the Emporium, and I'm 99% sure it wasn't at Disney Clothiers, but it's here at Pooh Corner. Just a kid's gray sweatshirt. Amongst the other kids' sweatshirts in Disneyland, classic sweatshirts with just the regular Disneyland Resort logo, but like, this is new, out to the parks. And this is the randomness of a reporter shift, because you never know when you're going to stumble upon something like this. We have made it to Galaxy's Edge, and I will be paying close attention to this land over the next month or two because there are some big changes coming. Now, some of it's rumor, some of it's been confirmed, but the rumblings are that this will be changing to original trilogy theming. So I'm paying close attention to all of the props, all of the displays, to see when something changes or if some new theming has been updated. The rain is coming down a bit harder now, so I am seeking shelter under the bridge. Galaxy's Edge is such a themed land, so if this new transition is officially what's going to happen, I'm very intrigued to see how they incorporate elements of the original trilogy in this land that was built for the sequels. Either way, Darth Vader coming to the parks? I mean, that's a win in itself. A small interlude for the Disney ducks. I bet they are so happy today. I've seen them out and about in the past, splashing a little bit in the puddles, and now a park day is not a true Disney day until you have a Disney duck sighting. They even made a whole shirt about it. We have made our way to Fantasyland and then soon Toontown. Now, Troubadour Tavern has been under construction / renovation for a few months now, and Fantasyland Theater is getting ready for Bluey. So it's all closed off, but I still report on it every single time I'm here to see if there's any changes to the scrim or the walls or anything like that. Normally they had a scrim printed with the facade of Troubadour Tavern, so being able to actually see all this scaffolding is definitely something that I will be sending in. And more scrim has gone up on Fantasyland Theater. Now this striped wall used to continue all the way over to the side over here, but this green scrim is new, and I'm seeing some what looks like trees pop out on top. And I can only assume that these new walls that is covering are themed to the new show, and they don't want us seeing it yet. We have finished at Disneyland, and before heading to DCA for a quick merch check there, we are checking on the construction in the Esplanade. That is Porto's Bakery Cafe coming to fruition. Now, they started knocking down the Earl of Sandwich about a month ago, and we have been monitoring the progress. And today, it's quite the update. Now, I don't know if it's because of the rain, but they rolled up the scrim, and it is giving us a very clear view of all the work that they have been doing to tear down the ticket booth and the rest of the building. We've officially made it to DCA, but I just wanted to say it's so cool when you're on shift and something like that happens. Now, I don't know how long those scrims will be rolled up for. Maybe this is just what they're gonna do with this construction project. They're gonna show us what's happening, or they just did it for the rain. I am unsure. But being able to see behind the walls that I've been staring at for like 3 weeks is really cool. Being able to see the progress and being able to report on the progress and share it with everybody, share it with you guys, nothing beats it. Blue skies have come out and I am so thankful. We are just doing a Buena Vista Street check for merch today. I usually spend more time in DCA later in the week. I definitely have a soft spot for DCA. I think I didn't love this park when I first visited. Way back in 2019, I think was the first time I came here. And I was like, oh, it's cool, it's kind of small, like it has some cool stuff, but it's not anything all that spectacular. And since living in Southern California and coming a lot more frequently before this job and since having it, I have quickly come to love this park. Now, obviously, another construction project that we are closely monitoring is Avengers Campus. We watch this every single week to hopefully see something new, some progress being made. And though a lot has been done, it's pretty slow moving. Okay, we are nearing the end of our day here at the parks. I finished going through all of the construction in DCA, finishing with Grizzly River Run because it is closed for a pretty big refurbishment right now. And the rain has returned, but it's kind of a sun shower, so not too bad. I know they fared a lot worse yesterday with the near torrential downpour they were getting. We've been pretty lucky today in terms of rain. Now, one thing to note is that no reporter shift is the same. Even if I'm going into the same stores or looking at the same construction, there's always something different that happens on every shift. Like we saw earlier, that Porto scrim came up. That was new. That definitely has been walls up until today. And new merch comes out, obviously, that we have to report on. Sometimes there's popcorn buckets or novelty that drops that we have to stand in line for and hope that we get in time before they sell out. So it's always exciting and always very interesting. I narrowly escaped that downpour. Like, came inside to check out this store just when the sky opened up and dumped. Everyone has run inside to stay dry, and I am continuing on my merch loop. Just finishing my last merch checks here on Buena Vista Street at Kingswell, and then I believe we are done today. So I thought this shift was over, and it is not. We actually had something pop up, and that happens from time to time. So I am on my way to Pixar Place to grab some photos of the new Hopper exhibit for the new movie that's coming out. I think it's a Pixar movie. So we are going to head over there now. We are here and it's very windy. Fun fact, the Disneyland hotels put out towels when it's raining so you can dry off, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. This is definitely the hotel that I spent the least amount of time in because it's not really connected to the park. So I've been here the least, but it's so cute. It's very cool. They have a ton of cool concept art and tributes to Pixar. It's absolutely worth checking out if you haven't been here yet. This was a really cool one. There was a ton of concept art and colorscapes and just even like a clay sculpture of the main character. I'm excited to see this movie now. The concept art and the storyboards and just all the visual interpretation of this animated film looks very, very good. They even had a digital rendering of some of the concept art as well as story concept, I think is what they called it. And I'm intrigued. Let's hope that the movie is great, and I'm glad I got to see this gallery. Okay, March 6th is when this comes out, so we'll see if it's any good, but I'm looking forward to it. That is the end of your reporter shift for today. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope you had fun seeing what we do here on a reporter shift at WDWNT, reporting on the news so that you at home can see it and read about it on the site and experience it with us while getting to know the parks in some of the best ways. I'll see you next week.